Be sure to thumbs up, share, and subscribe. Hey, 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 hey. I'll get it here in a second. Oops, stop screen share. There I am. How are y'all? Miss CJ's Blaze #1, Bones #2, Lisa R. Hall, The Real Truth. And The Real Truth, they're just whipping up on you the last couple days. I'm sorry. You'd like to be #1. Miss J Stone, Donna D, Wild Eyed Blind Mom. How are y'all doing? Did y'all see the title? I've been wanting to do this for a little while and I haven't had time to sit down and figure it all out for y'all, but we're going to start baby steps prepping. We've got some folks that have never started prepping and they're feeling a little behind the game, and I want to show you how you can prep for one person for a month for under $100. Now, it's not T-bone steaks, but you get all of the nutrition you need. So how is everybody? I had a pretty good slow day, but boy, my evening lit up, let me tell you. Had a crazy evening. Had to switch accounts. You have 2 accounts. What's your other account? So I know you. All kinds of people have more than one account. I hate I had to dip out of Dex early. I have to go back and watch the end of that. Boy, isn't Dex something else? He's got all that technology knowledge. He is awesome. My nose is itching. I hope I'm not getting company at this hour. It's a little late. I'm sorry. But I had family things to attend to. Definitely got my attention for the title. Well, good. That's great. Y'all going to be surprised. Keep telling everybody just little bitty baby steps. Don't take much. Just a little bit of time every time you go to the store. Yep. I've got, let's see. Me and Miss Lisa R. Hall today were discussing that we use old envelopes for our notes. There's my notes, Miss Lisa R. Hall. I've even got notes back here, but I better flip it quick. Somebody will take a picture and use it as a thumbnail. If you know what I mean. That one side I don't care. That's just the prepping notes. Let me see. Somebody wants to copy that. There you go. Look at that chicken scratch. That's the way all my notes look. Hey, Miss Renee Thomas, you use envelopes too? I'm telling you what's true. Every envelope I've got except my thing for the DMV, I've got 3 envelopes just laying on this desk with notes on it. That don't count what's on the little table beside me in the living room, and then a couple on the kitchen table. I'm telling you, no papers. No. I like envelopes. I can keep up with envelopes better. Look how little they are. And let me tell you, I can get a lot on an envelope, and then I doodle and scratch. Wonder if I run out of ink in my pens. No paper plates, Bones. No paper plates. Well, actually, I'm out of paper plates right now. That sucks. Gotta wash dishes. And we've got all kinds of people live right now. I hate to do this. I hope they catch it in the repeat. Well, that's awesome, Renee. It must be something in the brains that we have. Us smart gals use envelopes. And then a pinch of paper plate. I'm real sorry. Hey, Vlad. Doing stuff and listening. Okay, that's fine. You do stuff and listen. I really didn't mean. I wasn't paying attention. I was in a hurry. I was on live yakking and talking, and I didn't realize what I was on that paper plate. Didn't pay attention. I was just trying to show one little thing. I wasn't paying what else was on there. I didn't do that on purpose to upset anybody. But my gosh, you would have thought I committed murder. But that's okay. That's all. Thank goodness. I believe that's all behind us. Hopefully. Listen, everybody, see Bones' names. Yeah, Bones picking on me. That reminds me. Listen, this has been a long haul, like pulling teeth. I do not know why. Bones is a Swiss thing, truck driver. Get us all kinds of news if he could go live with these 1,000 through YouTube. 816. I believe everybody that's in here right now is probably Kevin Vogel fam. Hi, honey. Already subscribed. But if you are not subscribed to Bones, please help us out. He's a family member. You know, I go through, somebody calls on Marf and they've got a channel. Whether it's a topic I'm interested in or not, we're family, and I go subscribe. Bones has interesting stuff. Tip of the day. Love his driving tips of the day. So, yeah, Kevin Fugel fan put tip of the day. So, if you're not, anybody in your household's not, my son came over the other day. I said, are you subscribed to Bones? He looked and he said, no. And I said, oh, Lord. So I had him to subscribe to Bones. Yeah. Somebody's talking about changing accounts. If you got more than one account, subscribe in both accounts. I don't care what you do. Let's just get Bones to that 1,000. Coffee beans. How are you? Good to see you. We haven't even been going for 10 minutes yet. Wednesday's usually a pretty slow night, but I was noticing when I was getting ready to go live, there's all kinds of people popped up. I thought, just my luck. But usually Adam's live now, so I thought, well, I'll just do 10 o'clock tonight. I just can't do those late night lives right now, y'all. Life just won't let me do it. I hate I'm going to pick a slow night to do this. I wondered. You know what? I wonder if it's in Discord, because I think the person that triggered me to want to do this is in Discord. Yes. It's been a couple of weeks ago. I was going to do news tonight. Oh, yeah. Miss CG Blaze has it. I think I got that right. Yeah. I'm telling you. You know, now without my glasses, I see double. I've noticed that lately. That's not good, is it? That's not a bit good. Put my chair back instead of stretching out my arm. That didn't make any sense, did it? Yeah, I know you was just a mess and bones. I know you were, honey. I still shouted you out, asked for you some subscribers. I don't know if Coffee Beans is subscribed or not. Pretty sure everybody else is. But there might be somebody come in later. Married Life Vlogs, hi there. How are you? We're talking about our mod and Mark's mod, Bones, truck driver, out seeing everything in the world, trying to get him to 1,000, asking everybody to subscribe for him. Bones, honey, did I see CJ? I don't remember now. Yeah, CJ's in there. Somebody put his link. Let's run that link all night long. Well, not every other post. Y'all know what I mean. And how are you doing, Married Life Vlogs? Oh, yay. Married Life Vlogs isn't subscribed. She wants your, or I'm assuming, wants your link. Josh Connor, hey, how are you? They'll get it up there for you in just a second. Daisy Taylor, how are you? There's another one going live. I never paid any attention. I guess if old Marv ain't live at 10 o'clock on Wednesday night, everybody's going to take advantage of it. Oh, mercy. There you go. See, Jay Stone. Jay Stone's got his link up there. But all you have to do is click on his name, and it minimizes. If you're on your phone, it minimizes me, and it pulls his channel up, subscribe, ring the bell, and then click on me again, and it pops right back up. You don't have to go from page to page. Makes it real easy. I'm doing all right, Josh. Pretty calm day. Evening was a little hectic. But Alaska Prepper, how are you? Yes, we're talking about prepping tonight. I'm doing just a little mini breakdown. We've got some folks that, as you know, you get emails that are just so overwhelmed with the prepping and feel like they're behind the game. So I did just a little mini menu of, what would get somebody, what they need, their fruits, vegetables, proteins, that kind of thing for a month, and did a breakdown with fillers and stuff. And it could get somebody through a month under $100 and per person. And I'm not as good at it as you, Alaska Prepper. I'll promise you that. But this is the way I started prepping for my family. So I thought this might help others. I was surprised a little bit, the prices had gone up. And this will be, real close to 100 for anybody. My fruits and vegetables are based upon the price of Aldi's. It's a little slow and steady wins the race. That's right. That's right. That's what Alaska Prepper always says. Slow and steady wins the race. I mean, you can have, pretty good bit of food stored up before you know it. Yeah, everybody show Alaska Prepper all kinds of love. And if you're not familiar with Alaska Prepper, he was on the show a couple weeks ago. He's going to come on again. Welcome. You're welcome, Alaska Prepper. Any Sunday evening you got available, you just let me know. Let's see, next Sunday, we've already got a topic. I don't remember what the guys said they want to talk about. But then after that, I don't have any Sundays scheduled. So if you just want to pick a Sunday and let me know, we'd love to have you back on. And you can add to what I'm getting ready to say, because I am by no means as good at it as you are. Got a News Network. Hi there. Good to see you. Lone Star Preps. Good to see you. Now, I'm reminding everybody that comes in that doesn't look like they're, part of the regulars. Paula, hi there. We've got Bones, our mod, that's also a Marfugal mod. We've got him finally a little bit over 800 subscribers. We need to push as hard as we can. Yes, it is easy to get overwhelmed. It is. But I started so long ago, I forgot, till somebody reminded me what it's like, to be a brand new prepper, especially with a limited income. And we've got, there's nothing that indicates that the world's going to come to an end tomorrow, or I don't think we've got 5 or 10 years. I really don't. But I think if everybody would start now and do what I'm suggesting in case it gets ugly right before the election, be surprised. We've got 12 months. You could have a year's worth of food stocked up before the election. How wonderful does that sound? And then if you get an extra $1 here or there, and you can add, something spicy because you want your life spiced up. If you can't, Alaska Prepper did that the other night. The last video of his I watched, he was talking about you wanted to, let's see, what did he call it? Remind me, Alaska Prepper, food fatigued? Was that what you called it? What'd you call it? I thought that was such a good term you used, Alaska Prepper. Was it food fatigued? What was the term you used? Anyway, he just meant you get tired. I mean, nobody's going to live on beans and rice for a year. I mean, they found people way up in Alaska dead with barrels of beans and rice. You got to have a real well-rounded meal. What kind of fatigue did you call that? That was so good in your video, and I can't remember what it was. Yeah, food fatigue. Oh, okay, I had it right. I thought I got it wrong. See, old Alaska Prepper, every time I talk to him, he knows I watch his videos because I always remember something from a video. Yes. I have been telling people that. You just have to. Yes. Well, chocolate is good for the sweets, good for barter. I'm just going to cover getting us our basics for survival. And then if you have any extra, I'm going to go over that. So I'm going to go ahead and start and tell you this little breakdown I come up with, okay? Now, just remember, this is just an outline. You've got to make it appropriate for your family. Prep what you eat. I'm telling you. Now, for a basic, if you're not canning, and we are going to get into canning, I promise. And the way I can is whatever meat is on sale that week. That's how I decide what to prep. What to pressure can. Chicken's on sale, pressure can chicken. Steaks are on sale, pressure can steaks. Pork chops are on sale, pressure can pork chops. If I can get sausage on sale, sausage. Now, Alaska Prepper has canned bacon. I have not yet done the bacon. He did his a little different than I want to try to do mine. I actually want to 90% cook it in the oven and then wrap it in parchment paper and roll it up, put it in the jar and pressure it. and it stays together a little better, and then you unroll it and put it back on a pan over some heat, and you've got crispy bacon. So I want to try that. So I'm going to get started with this. If y'all do y'all have a piece of paper and something to write on? Because I'm not savvy enough to know how to list this underneath this video. Ain't gonna happen. Y'all know I don't edit. Raw and real. What you get here is what you get. So anyway, all right. Yes, we want rice. Why do we want rice? Rice is a filler. It will fill you up. It is a filler. We want bread. It's a filler. I have done cornbread so far, Mexican and regular. I'm going to do some out on an open fire bread. I'm going to try in, I keep telling y'all this, but it's too hot and I couldn't do it. I want to see if I can cook bread over a fire. But Alaska Prepper, I'll send you to his channel. He's got all kinds of videos on doing bread, easy bread recipes for feed a family, fill you up for a meal. You want your bread, you want your rice, or your fillers, okay? So a bag of rice is $14.98 at Walmart. I got the Walmart price for rice. It's 20-pound bag. 20-pound bag of rice has 45.82 cups of rice in it. 1 cup of rice will fill you. Now we're gonna imagine that we are in worst case scenario and we're going to get 1 meal a day. Okay? That's the premise that we're working on. So if you can add to it later, if you just want to get 6 months and then make your 6 months worth a little fancier, that's great. Or 3 months and make it a little fancier. It doesn't matter. Lord have mercy, if we could just get you to get 1 month, I'd be happy. If you just had 1 month to start with, just look at 1 month at a time. And then if you've got a few extra dollars to snazz it up a little bit, absolutely. And I'm going to tell you at the end, easy way to snazz it up, okay? So, the rice, 45.82 cups. That's plenty enough for a month. That'll even get you into the next month. If you just eat 1 cup of rice a day as a filler, that's going to get you 45 days. That's a month and a half. But if you want a little extra, then you can add a little extra to it and just use the 20-pound bag. Peanut butter. A 64-ounce tub of peanut butter is $4.68. Okay? You're going to eat a spoonful. We can put it on that bread that we're going to make. Okay? But peanut butter, there's your protein. There's your fat. You have to have fats in your diet. So protein and fats in your peanut butter. Okay? Flour. A 10-pound bag of flour has 37.8 cups. It's $6.98. Okay? So that's, cup of flour. Most recipes call for 2 cups of flour. If you use 2 cups of flour, that would cut it down to 15 days, but you're going to get more than 1 day out of that loaf of bread you make. So you're going to get a couple days per person out of that, loaf of bread a day. So that's going to make your month. So you can do enough bread in a month with a 10-pound bag of flour. Cornmeal. And of course it's different because rice is bigger, flour's finer, cornmeal's a little more coarser. So with cornmeal, it comes in 5-pound bags. So it's $2.99 for a 5-pound bag. So you'd need 2 of those. And that's 13 cups per bag. That's 26 cups of flour and 10 of cornmeal in a 10-pound bag. 26 cups. You can make a nice size pan of cornbread for less than 2 cups. Okay? And then for 1 person, my goodness, you can eat, 2 or 3 days on a pan of cornbread. Veggies at Aldi's are 44 cents a can. So if you want to give yourself, and you could get 2 servings of vegetables out of a can if you wanted to. But if you, I think that was 4 cans. I didn't write down how many cans. I think it was 4 cans of vegetables a week would be $8 for a month. Fruit, 79 cents a can. And some people have Save a Lot, the dollar store. There's all kinds of places, not just Aldi's, that have comparable prices to this. 8 cans, 2 cans a week. You can split that up and have 4 servings of fruit a week. 79 cents. That's $6.32 for one person, 4 servings of fruit a week. Okay. Cans of pinto beans. Now, it is much, much more cost effective to pressure can your pinto beans. Alaska Prepper has a video on canning pinto beans. However, if you don't already have and they've raised the prices, let me tell you, prepping has gotten too popular. It's my sister's and my Presto pressure canner was $79 each. Now I think they're $109 each. If you don't already have your pressure canner and you're at a financial point that you're going to be pinching pennies to spend $100 a month just to, start prepping your food, you may not be able to buy the jars and the pressure canner and everything you need to can. Be great if you can start saving for that, add it into your budget, because later, if the grit would go down, you can still pressure can over a fire. Be very careful. You got to watch it. You can't leave it, but it is possible. Or a grill, if you're prepping propane, it is possible to can in a grid down situation. But we're assuming you don't have pressure canner, you're not pressure canning. This is baby steps. You're in an apartment. You don't have a lot of storage. This is worst case scenario, baby steps prepping. Okay. That is what we're going on. Okay. So pinto beans. 4 cans. 4 cans a week. Let me see. Did I do that right? Let me double check my math. I didn't make my notes right. I got in too big of a hurry. I realized what time it was. Okay. 79 times 4 equals times 4 equals. Yes. 4 cans of pinto beans a week. So 16 cans of pinto beans would be $12.64. And you could stretch that out. You can get more than 1 serving out of a can of pinto beans, especially if you're adding rice or if you're adding your cornbread or biscuits or whatever your bread is, Then you need to have meats, even though you've got your oils and your proteins in your pinto beans and your peanut butter, you still need meat. So we've got 2 cans of chicken, just, little cans of, well, they're good sized cans of chicken. Those are at Aldi's and the dollar store. You can get them about $2 a can. 4 cans a week. 2 cans a week. 8 cans for a month. That's $16. 2 cans of chicken a week. Okay, so you've got pinto beans and you've got your chicken 2 days a week. Then it's about $1.79 a can. And yet sometimes you can get it less for tuna. Same thing for tuna. $14.32. Okay, so you're going to have at least 4 meals in 7 days of meat. You're going to have at least 4 servings of pinto beans. So you're good on your proteins. You're going to have at least 4 servings of fruit, 4 servings of vegetables, and then you've got your rice, your peanut butter, and your breads, cornmeal, biscuits. I'm going to show you how to make tortillas, flour tortillas. Okay, So adding that all up, your rice for the 20-pound bag is, if you just want regular rice, it's $14.98. Add a dollar to that, $15.92. If you want jasmine rice, I prefer the jasmine rice, but we're going to go cheapest budget we can get, $14.98 for the rice. That will do you more than a month for a 20-pound bag. The 64-ounce peanut butter, $6.68. Your 10 pounds of flour, 37.8 cups of flour. That will definitely, a loaf of bread, that will definitely get you a month's worth of bread. $6.98. Your cornmeal, $2.99 a bag, 5-pound bags. So you need 2 of those. It's 26 cups cornmeal. Plenty to get you through a month. Your vegetables, your fruits, your pinto beans, your chicken, and your tuna. That comes up to a grand total of $90.84. $90.84. And that is not, you could even split that up into 2 meals. You can do a meat and a fruit, or your pinto beans and cornbread. You could actually make 2 meals a day out of that if you made them small meals or 1 decent meal. But for per person, just going right off of the shelf at the store for $90.84, you can very well feed yourself for under $100. Then you go to the Dollar Tree, okay? We've still got $10. Well, $9. Go to the Dollar Tree every month and buy a little, buy the little dollar bottles of spices. Gotta spice this stuff up. I mean, you have to. You have to have spices. Flavor your life. You gotta have flavor in your life. Now, when you get a month and you've got, and you need a bottle of oil, that's $1.79 at Aldi's dollar store. Get you a bottle of vegetable oil, get you a can of Crisco, however you want to, do it, and get you a couple of bottles of spices. For under $100, you have worked towards your first month of food. Now, once you start feeling comfortable and you see how that fits your budget to go get that every month or every payday. Now, Alaska Prepper does payday preps, but he's been prepping a while. I wanted to start with, and so have I. So I wanted to break it down into little baby steps for y'all. Okay? You've got to have fun in your food. You can always find cake mixes, for $5. Betty Crocker cake mixes, Kroger's, Walmart has them all the time. 5 for $5. You can get the little packets of muffin mix for $1 a piece. You can get candy bars for $1. You can vacuum seal those. Your solid chocolate bars. You've got to have some sweets in there. Popcorn, for God's sake. Get a bag of popcorn. I've got to go. I keep telling you, you can vacuum seal with no power, I promise you, in a jar, like a canning jar, with a brake bleeder. And you can seal up anything. You can keep it sealed. You open your popcorn. Oxygen's what ruins everything. So, popcorn. That's a treat. My goodness, who doesn't like popcorn? That is a treat. Watch the sales aisles. Now, be careful with the dented cans because they're not going to last 5 years. But if you keep things in a cool, dry, ventilated place, I have eaten store canned food that's 5 years old. That's the longest I've ever had it. That, because I try to rotate it. Jiffy Pop over a campfire, yep. But if you got a cast iron skillet, you can use your cast iron skillet over that campfire too. My hair, I'm a mess today. I apologize. Tracker, JP, I see somebody speaking to you. I didn't see you come in. Does that make sense to you all? Do you see how you can live on a month with the fillers, still get your protein, still get your fats, and then still have some sweets and spice up your diet a little bit? Chocolate, cake mix, brownie mixes. I get the Knorr rice sides. They put those on sale all the time, 5 for $5. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Do y'all need to see a Knorr rice side? I mean, that's just a little bit. Now, if you just get one check a month, what I would suggest you do is split this up. Don't worry about a month. Go set aside, spend your $15 on your rice. If you can budget $15 a month and just get yourself a month started. Then if you have to stretch it out, we have to eat a little less, then we're just going to have to eat a little less, Go to food banks. If you qualify to go to a food bank, go to a food bank. Look for the sale aisle. Be careful with those dented cans, though. But I watch the sale circulars. And, I go and get a flat of green beans or a flat of corn, 5 for $5 cake mixes or hamburger helper. I do hamburger helper because I pressure can my ground beef. Best tasting ground beef you've ever eaten in your life, pressure canned. You'll never find it any more tender anywhere than pressure can ground beef. It is awesome. But that's just to get you started. If you're on a limited budget and you feel like, all you can do is $15 a month, go buy you a bag of rice. I'm sure you got spices in your counter. Buy those little packets of at the Dollar Tree of gravy mix, anything, to spice up that rice. Get your peanut butter. Rotate that peanut butter out. Start getting the bigger 64. And I'm pretty sure you can get those big jars of peanut butter at Aldi's if you have an Aldi for cheaper than the $4.68. But just in case, I got the Walmart price for you. I looked it up. But just each month, take $15. Start with the rice. $15 the next month and get your peanut butter and flour. $15 the next month and get you that much cornmeal and vegetables. $15 the next month, get you that much fruit and canned pinto beans. $15 the next month and get you that amount of chicken and tuna. Or Spam. You can even get Spam's about the same price as tuna. Spam, treat, Vienna sausages, potted meat. You can even get those for 33 cents a can. I don't know what kind of protein those really have. Full of salt. Get you plenty of salt eating that stuff. But let me see what y'all are saying. I love Dollar Tree. Love the Dollar Tree. Then every time you walk in the Dollar Tree, spend you $1 and go buy you some Band-Aids. Go buy you a bottle of alcohol, a bottle of peroxide, a tube of antibacterial. And even if you went in there and spent $5 a month, if you could budget $20 a month, you spent $15 at the store and $5, at the Dollar Tree getting Band-Aids, antibacterial, those kinds of things. And then, you got to start working in your budget. Toilet paper. Gotta have toilet paper. That is the one thing I think we can all live without. Paper towels. Wash a few dish towels. Live without paper towels. Need toilet paper. I'll tell you what I do with, of course I've got a grandson. We keep wipes and, a half pack or a third of a pack, get left in a vehicle or an old diaper bag somewhere. All of our dried wipes, I keep those for toilet paper. You can, when shit hits the fan and you're worrying about number 2 when us females even both, if it's the cheapest toilet paper they sell, you're going to be thankful to have it. You can get enough rolls in a toilet paper, in a pack of toilet paper for one person for $6 at Aldi's, $6 and some change, that will last you a month. If you just start putting back an extra pack. That's how you start prepping. Whatever your budget allows. Or, save your rice for last, your fillers. Go get your pinto beans, get your flour, get your cornmeal, get your fruits. Now, every month, however many cans that you need. That's how you plan. Figure it out. Watch how much toilet paper you use. If it's a roll a week, that's 52 rolls of toilet paper you need. Don't look at that 52. Look at what you can get for the cheapest right now. Might not be the brand that you use every day while life's good, but anything, no matter what it is. If it's cheap and it fits in your budget and you can shove it under a bed or in the top of a closet, or, you can always make little spaces to store stuff. Just worry about, if you're on a limited, you get one check a month. Spend your, see if you can budget $20. Spend $20 each month. And if you divide that into, put the rice for last, okay? The peanut butter and the flour and the cornmeal, $15. That's 1 month. Peanut butter, flour, and cornmeal. Or you can get your peanut butter, your veggies, and a bag of flour. That gets you through a week. Or get you a can of, 1 can at a time of your chicken, or 1 can at a time extra of your tuna. But whatever you eat, don't plan on pinto beans and rice. It's not going to get you there. Even if you want to get you a jar of peanut butter and a bag of flour and make you some biscuits and peanut butter, and you want to go get Nor rice sides, 5 for $1. Well, that's, I think that's more expensive. Well, let's figure it out. Well, yeah, it'd be $30. That'd be $30. That would include your spices. And those are enough to feed 2 people. So it'd be $15 a month. And that would give you two meals a day with a fruit or with beans or corn or something. But I think you're better off to just buy the bigger bag of rice and you have more in a serving and get you some spices. I already eat beans and rice. Yep, I eat beans and rice. Yes, I do. Kelly B. Hi, Kelly B. How are you, honey? Does anybody have any questions? Yes, use coupons. Everybody has a cell phone. Put your local grocery store app on your cell phone. See what's on sale. See what coupons they have that you can use on your cell phone that week. Everybody gets the sale circulars in the newspaper. Canned beef stew, chili. Yep. Dry mashed potatoes. Yeah, I've got boxes of sealed instant mashed potatoes, stuffing. Those are for fillers. But see, I've been prepping for a little while. I'm talking about those on a 1 check a month budget that barely makes it as it is. If you take, whatever you can take, $5, it doesn't matter. Just start buying, $5 worth of pinto beans. Get your proteins first. At least you have your proteins. Proteins and fruits. If you get your proteins and food, get you some peanut butter, put it to the side. 1 can of chicken, 1 can of tuna. Start with the proteins and flour. Get your flour, because if you have, let me tell you, the self-rising flour, stuff lasts forever. It does not expire like they tell you. Let me tell you, I did not used to make a lot of bread. When my boys were in sports and we weren't home, and it wasn't winter and I didn't have a lot of time, there were years that my self-rising flour I only used at holidays. Well, there wouldn't be enough left over. I'd have to buy a new bag, but I would finish off that bag the next Thanksgiving. And that self-rising flour was just fine. It was just fine. So it doesn't expire like people tell you. Pastas. Any of your pastas are cheap. You can get those at the Dollar Tree. Fillers, carbs, fillers, energy. But I'm talking about, the bare minimum to have your fruits, vegetables, fats, starches, a well-rounded meal, or, a week, those meals for under $100. That's what I'm talking about. You've got to have a well-balanced diet. You're going to get sick. We don't want anybody getting sick. Now, once you get more comfortable and you've got even a week's worth that you can get yourself through pinto beans, couple cans of tuna, can of chicken, some green beans or corn or whatever your vegetable is, can of fruit, you've got enough extra for a week, fine. You've got a week. Put it back. Then add to the next week. Then you've got 2 weeks. Then get you another week. Then you got 3 weeks. Do it a day at a time if you have to. It's just like anything in life. How did the ant eat the elephant? One bite at a time. If you have to worry about saving back what you think you could live on a day, 1 meal a day, and only do it 1 day at a time, that's better than nothing. That's a day's extra food you have. And then the second day. And then you've got a week before you know it. Then you've got 2 weeks before you know it. Then you've got 3 weeks. Then you got a month. Then you got your month saved. Okay, if something happened, might, not be the most comfortable thing in the world, but we could make that month's worth of food last too if we needed to. Cut back. I don't know, diet wouldn't hurt me any. We'd definitely be on a diet. And of course, you don't want to be looking too plump, when the rest of the world around you, if you're not hiding somewhere, you've got to be looking like you're losing weight too, so you better be losing weight. But, once you get comfortable with it, then you can start putting back a box of, potato flakes, a box of instant milk, a 36 thing pack of, water. You watch them, they put the 24 packs and sometimes the 36 packs on sale at Kroger's. And if you buy 5 packs, you get them $2 a pack. So it's $10 for 5 packs of the 36 bottles of water. Watch those sales. $10 for that water. You don't want to buy the dry beans. Dry beans takes too much water to cook them if you're not pressure canning them. That's why I suggest start out with the canned pinto beans, because you've got to have so much more water for beans than you do rice. You need equal parts rice for the water. If you're making a cup of rice, you need a cup of water. So you got to start adding your water into that. But I have brownie mixes, rice mixes. I have every kind of pasta that you can imagine. Stuffing mixes. Like I said, the instant potatoes, instant milk, brownie mixes, cake mixes, confectionery sugar and Crisco and vanilla to make icing with, popcorn, cereals. I have cereals dry canned. The stuff to make Rice Krispie treats dry canned. So once you get comfortable that you've got just a little bit, then you can start adding those little bitty extras. Cans of, candy bars. Like Alaska Pepper said, just a candy bar. Just the baby steps. If every time you go to the store, you just buy 1 can of something extra, a can of chicken, a can of fruit, a can of vegetables, and set that aside, put that in a little cubby, or in a little tote. But let me tell you about storing your dry goods. Put those suckers in the freezer for a minimum of 4 days, or you'll get bugs. You'll open them up and you'll have bugs. You can use 2-liter bottles or your individual bottles of water. If it is food grade, food comes in it and it's plastic, you wash it out, dry it, you can store, your rice in those. You don't have to worry about just a plastic bag of rice. But freeze the rice, freeze everything. Cake, your rice, your cake mixes, your flour, your cornmeal, your brownie mixes, stuffing mixes, anything dry, noodles, freeze it, minimum 4 days. USDA says 2 days, therefore I do it 4 days. Kills all the eggs and, if you have a vacuum sealer or, but typically I'm talking about people that can't afford Mylar bags, can't afford oxygen absorbers, can't afford to buy a Seal-A-Meal, can't afford the $25, that it takes to buy the brake bleeder. I'm talking about bare minimum baby steps, beginning with nothing, prepping. That's the point I'm making. Because I know some of you are saying, what is she talking about? Y'all been prepping for a while. I'm talking about the people in the audience that has never prepped one thing. Not one thing. Go through your kitchen cabinets. I'll bet you'll be surprised of vegetables you have in your kitchen cabinets or a can of tuna in your kitchen cabinets at the end of the month. If you have one check a month, at the end of the month, go look in your cabinets. What's left? Put that away. Then replace it when you go. That's what I'm talking about. The baby steps. Somebody that don't think they have one thing, not one can of nothing prepped. That's what we're working at. So I see we've got some more people in here, and I'm not sure when everybody started. Someone go over this again, just in case. Let me see. Are you saying something to me? Oh, Bones, honey, we love you. Anybody, let me say, 53 in here. Anyone in here that is not subscribed to Bones. Vegetable seeds. Yeah, we need seeds. But Cindy, I'm talking about people on a limited 1 check a month budget that, it's going to be stretching it just to buy, a few cans of vegetables and a can of tuna and a bag of flour a month to set back. That's my target here. And then in a minute, I'm going to, I've already brought up some of it. But if you get the 20-pound bag of rice at Walmart for $14.95, that's 45 cups of rice. Peanut butter, a 64-ounce jar is $4.68. You can get that cheaper at Aldi's if you have an Aldi. That some people don't. Flour, 10-pound bag, $6.98, has 37.8 cups. Plenty enough to get you enough bread to get you through a month. For filler, cornmeal, to get 26 cups, which cornbread or even muffins makes you plenty. That's, plenty enough. 26 cups, plenty enough to get you through even more than a month. $2.99 times 2, because it only comes in 5-pound bags. 4 servings of vegetables a month, based upon Aldi's 44 cents a can, $8 a month. Fruit, 79 cents a month for 4 servings a week, $6.32. Pinto beans, 79 cents, 4 times a week. That's $12.64. Cans of chicken for $2, $16 for a month. That's 2 cans of chicken a week, 2 cans of tuna a week. $1.79. I'm talking bare minimum. Grid down situation, the very worst situation we could imagine. Yes. And I found some research one time that said that you can live quite well with everything you need on popcorn and pinto beans and get everything you need, for a little while. Not for years, but for a little while, popcorn and pinto beans. But definitely save your cans of popcorn. Put them in, 2-liter bottle or 16-ounce bottle. Everybody goes and buys a bottle of pop. Save those bottles, wash them out. But for God's sake, whatever you do, any of your dry goods, freeze it. You never have to worry about bugs. That way you don't have to worry about the Mylar bags or the oxygen absorbers if you cannot afford that. I still freeze mine with the oxygen absorbers and the Mylar bags. Freeze it anyway, because I don't want to be all scared one of these days and freak out if I open up something that's got full of bugs. Now, I keep my stuff in 5-gallon buckets, my flour, my cornmeal, my sugar. But I rotate that stuff out. I've got my stored ones, and I've always got a working can. And when I have my 5-gallon bucket of my flour, my cornmeal, and my sugar open, as I'm using that, I'm buying it and freezing it. I froze my sugar. Let me tell you how I froze my sugar. I bought, I think it was 20-pound bags of sugar ordered off of Walmart online. And they messed up my order and doubled it. So I ended up with 200 pounds of sugar. I've got plenty of sugar to barter. I'll never use that much sugar. I left it in my truck. It was cold. When I ordered it, temperature had already plummeted last year. And that's the one thing I hadn't bought was sugar. I wanted 100 pounds of sugar. So I had plenty of sugar and sugar to barter with. Well, I ended up with 200 pounds of sugar. Left that sugar in the back floorboard of my truck. By golly, before winter was over, we had a good old cold spell that went to single digits through the day and below 0 at night. Then I brought that sugar in the house, let it get room temperature before I stored it. But that's how I froze my sugar. Mother Nature froze my sugar for me. So I am a firm believer in, froze my sugar. It didn't lump it up, didn't do anything to it. I left that sugar in that truck. My sugar was in my truck at least 3 months. At least 3 months I had that sugar in my truck, waiting for those temperatures to plummet, where it was going to plummet for 4 solid days at least. It was a week. I left that sugar out there in that truck the whole time that it was cold. Did it get down in single digits at night? Froze that sugar. Then brought it in the house. So everything, I've told y'all I was going to dry can. So I thought I'd remember to go get a brake bleeder and show you how to use the brake bleeder and dry can combination of any two, the rice, the corn, the potatoes or beans will provide you with the essential amino acids necessary to provide your body with the protein it needs. There you go. Yeah, I knew I had heard if you had popcorn and pinto beans, you could live a little while just on popcorn and pinto beans. Alaska Prepper, you went on the channel with me? You went on the screen to talk to him about this? If you want to come on, because listen, you are the pro. But I had somebody that just has, a limited budget a month and just wanted to know, was so scared, hadn't even gone and bought 1 can of anything. So that's kind of what I was. But I will send you an email and put you right on this screen with me if you want to, just for a little time. If you're willing to do that, because that's the kind of stuff they need to hear. You have that knowledge. I don't. That's why I told them I always watch your. But y'all put you on the screen if you want to come and tell them that stuff, Alaska Prepper. I just send you an email. You click on that email, poof. As long as you have Chrome, I can't get on the screen, but you call in. Oh, okay. Well, call me, baby. I'll put you on the phone. Wouldn't y'all love to hear Alaska Prepper? What a treat would that be? Yeah, come on, Alaska Prepper. I'll pull your channel up. Put you right on the phone. Did you save my number or do you need me to call you? Don't have the bandwidth to do the screen chat. Oh, okay, that's fine. We don't want you outside in the car in the cold. No, no, no. What a treat. I love Alaska Prepper. He is my prepping hero, y'all. Let me tell you what, when it comes to prepping, he's the first one I stuck with, buddy. Found him, just loved him to death. Because I done been prepping long enough to know He wouldn't blow no smoke up nobody's butt. Alaska Prepper was telling you, okay, we'll call whenever you're ready. Call whenever you're ready. And I will pull up your channel and hang my phone up on my screen. Let me tell you, I didn't know old pop socket would be. Kids had those things. I thought, well, you know, this phone's a little bigger than the other one was. Might need it. A pop socket hangs my phone right up on my screen so y'all can hear he was over on the phone. Whew. My heat kicked on. Goodness sakes. It got cold. Oh, that's exciting. I love the Alaska Prepper. Can y'all tell? Marfugal and Alaska Prepper. And then, of course, all of our channels that are spinoffs of Marfugal. Absolutely. Alaska Prepper wasn't a spinoff, but he very shortly gravitated into our Marfugal family. And we welcomed him with open arms. We love him. But, of course, I was Alaska Prepper family and Marfugal family. I was in Marfugal's chat all the time, but y'all need to watch Alaska Prepper. Because we get news, you know, Marf's the news and Alaska Preppers are prepping. And I didn't have a channel then. And good Lord, you never know what I'm going to do from live to live. I don't know what I'm going to do from live to live. Listen, tonight I was going to do news and talk about child trafficking. And my evening got extremely disturbed. And I thought, I need to talk about something I'm familiar with and comfortable with. Well, it's prepping. And I needed to do this for somebody. Somebody asked me to do this about a month ago at least. Here he is. All right. Hello, hello. What a treat to have you again.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. I knew you could add to this conversation. But we had a...
It's almost my bedtime, so I won't be able to talk for very long.
Okay. Well, we had a family member that has only, you know, the single check a month, very limited income, that was so upset about prepping, she hadn't even bought a can of beans, can of corn, anything. So I just wanted to, on the premise of somebody, you know, in that situation, just make them feel comfortable that they could get, you know, for under $100, a decent, you know, month's worth of food that would sustain them. So that's what I was trying to do tonight. But I'm sure you can add a lot more to that.
Well, I think that the list that you gave out is great. However, if you only have that limited amount of funds, if you can get yourself a hold of $100, then, like I stated on that one of the posts that I just put up here in the chats, if you combine rice and beans together, that combination will provide your body with all of the essential amino acids that you need to maintain the repair of your muscles. And in addition, it's going to provide you with the carbohydrates you need to have the energy that you require to carry on, you know, to do all of the things that you need to do every day. And one thing that I like to let people know is that they underestimate the power of rice and beans. 1 pound of rice has 1,650 calories. 1 pound of beans has about 1,600 calories. So just 1 pound of each can sustain a person for, I would say, between 1 and 2 days in a dire situation. Worst comes to worst, you can actually live for 2 days on 1 pound of rice and 1 pound of beans. And you brought up a very good point about the dry beans, that if you're going to have dry beans, you need to make sure that you're going to be able to cook them in an efficient manner. So that's something that people need to think about also, is how are they going to cook the food that they're getting?
Yes. Yeah. You got to plan on the water for, you know, anything that's dry that you're going to cook, your noodles, your rice, your beans, you know. So the best way to, if you're on a limited budget, you know, always take that water into account if you don't have a natural water source. And a lot of people don't.
That's right. And one of the things I really advocate is a lot of people concentrate on water, and which is great. If you have the room and the ability to get as much water as you can, then do so. However, one thing that I think is very important that people include in their preps, and it is a very low budget item as well, is a good water filter. Because unless you live in a very arid area, like a desert area, you're going to find water in a lot of places. It's just, is that water going to be okay for you to consume? Well, if you have a good water filter, you will be able to get water even out of a puddle and filter it. Now, disclaimer, I don't work for Sawyer Mini or anything like that. I don't get anything from those people. But I think that the Sawyer Mini is an outstanding water filter for someone that's on a budget. It will literally last maybe your lifetime as long as you properly maintain it. And what I mean about maintaining it is as long as you back flush it after every use. That little Sawyer Mini will probably outlive you if you take care of it. And they're only $20, maybe $21 now. So, that may sound like a lot of money to someone that's on a very tight budget, but you have to consider that you're going to need water. And if you don't have the availability of storage area to store a lot of water, then think about where can you get water from that may not be potable, but that you can turn into potable water by the use of a water filter, even by boiling it. I always recommend to boil it, to put a little bit of bleach in it, and then to filter it through your water filter to make sure that what you're drinking is going to be safe to drink.
I advocate, even if you can find, natural water that runs, off of a hill or, through rocks. I even recommend boil that for at least, 5-10 minutes. Even if you think it is clean, there still could be parasites and stuff in it.
Yeah, absolutely. That is great advice. Even if you think the water that you're drinking is clean, take the steps that are appropriate as if you thought that water was not clean. So, like, for example, I'll give you a great example. I did a test on bottled water that my wife bought from the store. And that bottled water was actually dirtier than the water that I put through my filter.
Yes.
So
I saw that video.
So, yeah.
And also,
did you see that video? You saw that?
I did see that video. And also, you need to tell them about your, for those of us that can't afford a Berkey, you also have a video on how to make your own filtration system.
Yeah, absolutely. A Berkey, a full-size Berkey, if you buy a brand new, I think they're running about $450 or so. And that's pretty pricey. And like you said, I did put a video out. It's probably about a year old or so by now, I think, or close to a year old. But it's just a DIY Berkey system using the internal parts of a Berkey and some food-grade buckets and a spigot that you can get on Amazon. And it turns out to be about $150, $160. And you're getting the same quality water that you would if you bought a brand new, 4.5-gallon Berkey system. You're only getting it for a third of the price instead of paying, the full price. Now the Berkey system obviously is going to look really nice and shiny because it's stainless steel and all. However, the functionality of the DIY Berkey system that I put together is just as good as the one that you buy out of the box. So there's a lot of ways to get around paying full price for things and being able to get the same quality results. You just have to be willing to put a little bit of work into it and maybe doing a little bit of research so that you can understand that what you're doing is going to work just as good, because you have to be able to trust what you're doing. So if you can understand that what you're doing is going to work just as good as what you're paying for 3 times more, you'll have more confidence in doing it yourself and not paying all that money. And then you can use that money that you save on that to work on other preps that you may need.
Right.
So it's all about trying to do things as less expensive as you can, but getting the same results as if you paid for a full price, which will allow you to prep even more. And I can really understand people that say that they're on a very limited income, because who isn't really nowadays? You know, I'm not going to get into the finance or economy stuff, but you know, I'm not sure who it was that I was talking to. If it was you that I was talking to before, but you know, 44% of Americans have to put credit on their credit cards every month just to get by. They have to actually go into debt every single month by using their credit cards just to get by. So who has, you know, not very many people have extra money to spend on preps. And one of the things that I say to that is, hey, listen, if you don't have extra money to prep, or you have a very limited income, every person has a skill set that they're proud of. So, for example, I'm just putting this out there so that people can get ideas and think about this. Find your skill set that you're proud of, because usually that's something that someone else can benefit from and would be willing to pay you for it. So one thing that I love to do is I love to bake. And if I needed extra money, I would be getting on Craigslist or on Facebook and saying, hey, listen, I'm making 6 banana breads this weekend. I'm selling them for $12 a piece. First come, first go. And I bet you that you would be able to sell those banana breads, because there's a lot of people out there that would love homemade banana bread but don't know how to do it. And if that is a skill set that you have, then you should use that to your advantage and make a little bit of extra money. And just think about it. You can make 6 banana breads for $20, and you're going to have $40, $50 left over that you can prep on. So, you know, having an additional source of income, even if it's a small additional source of income, can really help out when you prep. So don't give up just because you have a limited income. Think outside the box. What can you do? Can you babysit? Hey, guess what? You can start a YouTube channel, you know, and maybe get a little revenue, maybe an extra $40, $50 a month if that's all you get. But, you know, it's $40, $50 a month that you didn't have before.
That's right.
So there's a lot of ways to get around the income thing and the limited income thing. You just have to think outside the box and remember that you have value. You have a skill set, whatever it may be. You may know about plumbing, and you can help out as a handy person, and you know, and help people, you know, fix their leaky faucets. But everyone has a special skill set that they are proud of. It doesn't matter who you are. There's something that you do that you're like, man, I'm really good at this. And you should take advantage of that so that it can benefit you and your family.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense, WP?
That makes perfect sense. I found your video. It was 9 months ago. Build a water filtration system for a fraction of the cost. So if you all want to see how he did it with the food grade buckets and the Berkey filter, it's a 9-month-old video. Build a water system for a fraction of the cost. Y'all need to check that out. He also has recipes, Dominican rice for a fraction of a cost that will feed a family. Spaghetti. He shows you how to make spaghetti. He has several pennies on the dollar recipes for you to stretch your preps and your food for your meals. And I would suggest you all check those out and subscribe.
And I like to tell everyone there's ways to prep. Like if you go to my channel, you'll see that I've evolved as a prepper to prepping items that are a little more expensive than items that someone who's just starting to prep or doesn't have the income to do it can. But I say that there's 3 types of preppers. I categorize them into the very low income prepper, the middle class prepper, and the, you know, rich prepper. So the rich prepper, these guys they don't care about how things need to get done. They're going to buy everything. They're going to have all the nice, newest gadgets and everything, and they're going to have it stored away. They're ready to go. They're just going to live their life and have everything in one shot. And the middle class prepper is someone who's going to more than likely start with their pantry, extending their pantry out. And then once they extend their pantry out, they're going to get into long-term bulk storage. And then once they have that covered, they're going to get into maybe long-term freeze-dried foods and things like that you buy from a store that's prepackaged. And then you have your low income prepper. And this is the recommendation that I would give to the very low income prepper. If you haven't started putting anything away and you want to feel a sense of security, go to Lowe's or Home Depot, get yourselves 3 5-gallon buckets with lids. Get yourself some 5-gallon Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. And right now, those things that I just mentioned, you can get for less than $20 altogether. And then go buy yourself a 50-pound bag of rice at Costco or Sam's Club for $22, or maybe less in the lower 48. Because I know in the lower 48 it's a little less expensive than here, but I'll just say the prices that I pay for up here. So you get $22 50-pound bag of rice. You get a $25 a $15 25-pound bag of beans, and then get yourself some flour and some sugar, and then some salt. Right there, you have enough food, enough calories to feed yourself for about 2 months. A 50-pound bag of rice has about 84,000 calories or so. A 25-pound bag of beans has about 40-something thousand calories. And we won't even count the sugar or the flour. 112,000 calories, if you divide by 2,000 calories per day, that's 60 days plus. And that, everything I told you right there is less than $100.
Yes.
Yes, some people will say, well, I can't just eat beans and rice. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand this. What I'm talking about is someone that wants to get some food insurance in a hurry. Okay? There are people in the world right now that only live on a cup of rice a day, and they live. Do they like it? I'm sure they don't. But if we're just talking about getting some quick food insurance that you know you can do in one day, you can go shopping, get it, bring home, pack it, put it wherever it is that you're going to store it, and you know for sure that you're going to have 2 months worth of food should something catastrophic or systemic event happens. That's what you can do to get it done right away. I'm a big proponent, however, that if you're starting to prep and you want to, gradually increase your working pantry. So whatever your working pantry can handle, you fill it up. Once you've increased your working pantry to where you have like a month worth of food in there, and what I mean by your working pantry is the things that you eat every day, the things that you consume, the things that you use every day. You just build that up to where you know that if the supermarket closes today, you have a month's worth of food in there. Once your working pantry is full, I like to call what I have an extended pantry, which is like my mid to long-term pantry. Something that can handle anywhere between 6 months to a year worth of food, if you have the space. And for those that think they don't have the space, they have to think outside the box. Under your bed, in your closets. You can make a table out of your preps. You can get boxes and stack them on top of each other, put a really nice cloth and maybe a piece of wood over it and make a table out of it. And you've got preps under there that are covered by a piece of wood that looks like a table, but you've got maybe a month's worth supply of food on there that nobody else knows about. So as far as storage goes, you just have to think outside the closet. I'm sorry, you have to think outside the box.
We knew what you meant.
So once you have your mid to long term pantry complete, then you can start thinking about really bulking up on your bulk foods, like get rice, get beans, get all these things that you're not necessarily going to be rotating, but that you're going to be packaging for long term. If you see any of my videos where I'm packaging like rice and beans or flour and things like this in 5-gallon buckets, I never intend on rotating those. I package them in a way that they're going to last 30, 35 years. Well, guess what? If I never use those, I'll be 90 years old. So by the time that those things go bad, and I personally think that they'll last even more than that, because they're packaged in the right way and stored in a location that is temperature controlled. So once you have a good year's worth of food, and remember, ladies and gentlemen, slow and steady wins the race. So when someone tells you once you have a year's worth of food, it doesn't mean that you did it in a week or a month. You do it at the pace that suits you, all right? The pace that you can do it at. But the thing is you have to remember that you can do it. Slow and steady wins the race. You can do it. Don't give up. Make it part of your routine. The reason that I like to do my payday prep videos is because it shows people that I'm consistent. And if you're consistent at your level, you will eventually get to the level that you want to get to. Some people, it may take a little longer than others, which is okay. But what you have to worry about is yourself. Don't worry about what someone else is doing. Don't worry about Alaska Prep putting away 100 pounds of rice today. Don't worry about that. Worry about how many pounds of rice you can put away and how long it's going to take you for you to reach your goal. Because let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it comes a lot quicker than you may think. You may think, oh, it's going to take me this long. But once you have the mentality that you want to provide for your family some security in case that the supermarket's closed, you're going to start looking at things in a different way. Like, do I really need that $120 phone plan? Do I really need to have cable? Do I really need to go to McDonald's and spend $11 on a number one meal or whatever it is? When you start looking at things in the way of being able to prep for your family and being able to provide them with insurance, when you look at that $11 meal at McDonald's, you're going to start thinking, man, that's 25 pounds of rice. Do I really need this? Can I make something at home that's a lot less expensive than this so that I can prep more rice or more beans? It's really a mentality change that you have to go through. You have to understand that there are some things that are more important in life that you want to do that will bring you the gratification of having insurance and hoping that you never have to use that insurance. I hope to the good Lord that I can never have to open up one of my 5-gallon buckets of long-term food storage because I have to. I hope I never have to open it up. But you know what? If I ever do, I will thank the Lord that I have it. So you have to have a change of mentality and understand that what you're doing is for the benefit of yourself and your family. And then once you understand that, you'll start seeing things in a different way. You know, when I think about going to the movies and paying $80 for me and my family to go, I'm like, oh my goodness, you know how much rice I can get for that? And it's pretty sad in a way, but I really do think that. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's like 200 pounds of rice that I get. You know, and I'm not saying that you have to stop living life. By all means, you can't stop living life and just prep because that's not what it's about. You know, you have to enjoy your family. You have to enjoy your life. But part of enjoying your life is having the peace of mind of knowing that if something should happen, and it could be anything, right? It could be anything as far as someone in your family losing their jobs, getting sick and not being able to work. Unfortunately, you know, life happens and people pass away. You know, all of these things can happen. You know, it may be that you get in a car accident and you have to fix your car and you can't afford to buy groceries for a month so you can fix your car so you can go to work. Well, guess what? Now you have enough food put away where you don't have to worry about that expense. And you can go without that expense for a month or two while you get your other things in order that will allow you to continue to work and allow you to bring home an income so that you can continue to live your life. So it's not about not living a life. You know, life is not just about prepping. You have to live. But once you get into the prep mentality, you'll start looking at life and things in a different way. And I just think that if everyone in the U.S., imagine this, WB, if everyone in the U.S. just bought what you just mentioned here a few minutes ago and put it away, imagine how much better off everyone in the U.S. would be if they just had 1 month of food put away.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, the SHTF situation, like you said, it could be an accident, an illness, a car breaking down, a loss of a job. You know, those are all SHTF situations to any of us if, you know, to the average person. You know, most people are one paycheck away from bankruptcy. So the statistics say. So, you know.
That's true.
I applied for my disability because of my MS, and they asked me, do you receive food stamps? And I said, no. They said, but you qualify for them. Why don't you have them? And I said, because I plan ahead and I have food to eat, and I'm not going to use assistance that I don't need at this point. One of these days I might need it. When I need it, I'm going to use it. But right now, I've always put back food for, I didn't want to tell them I was prepper. So I said, we have snowstorms, or, if my car broke down, or, I needed extra money for those things. I said, I have food. And let me tell you what, that food that I have back now, I replace it. I've replaced it as I can, but that's helped me immensely over the last 10 months because I had extra.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what people, the problem that I see with the word prepper is that it's been misused by the media. When you say prepping nowadays, the first thing people think about is those doomsday prepper videos that came out, I don't know, a decade ago or so. And, the Hollywood or the media, however you want to call it, they portray those people in those videos as being kind of nutty. And now when people hear that word, that's what they think. That's what their subconscious tells them. And it tells them that they really don't need to be doing that because it's just nonsense. Now, I mean, we can get into conspiracy Wednesdays here, which I won't. But, there's probably a reason why they've been doing that. And it's another reason why, like you told me, someone was telling you, well, why do you do this? It's because you qualify for it. Well, we live in a system nowadays, or we live within a system that would like it if you were dependent on them. Because if you're dependent on them, then they can control you a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I applaud you for doing what you did, and taking care of yourself, because, we live within a system that would rather us depend on it than for us to depend on ourselves. And it's important that we have our own sovereignty. And unfortunately, some people are willing to give up their sovereignty and, live off a system and give up their sovereignty instead of really depending on themselves. Now, there are times in life where we do need help. And I believe in community. I believe in church. I believe in your family helping out and stuff. And some people don't have those attributes in their life to be able to go to when they do need help. And those people that use the system for those reasons, then of course what are you going to do? You have to do what you have to do in order to survive. But even if you are getting help from the system, you can still prep.
Exactly.
Go to food banks, go to your church, go to family members. I know a lot of people that throw away canned goods that are past their best by date. And I'm thinking to myself, man, they could just be giving that food away to someone instead of throwing it away. So If you know people that do that, get it from them. To package your foods, your long-term food storage, like your rice and beans and legumes and things like that. You don't need to go out and spend money on Mylar bags if you can't afford it. Get soda bottles, and get a 6-cent oxygen absorber. I did a video about this here, I don't know, a month or two ago, where I told people, hey, listen, you can actually store your legumes and your rice and your dry goods in a clear soda bottle, and all you need is a 6.5-cent oxygen absorber to stay in there. And this is going to last you just as long as it would in a Mylar bag, depending on your rodent situation. You wouldn't be able to use that in an area that's infested with rodents because they can chew through those bottles. But my point is that there's ways of doing things if you want to do it. If you're always looking for excuses as to why not to do something, then you're not going to do it. You've already given up. But there's ways to do things. And my channel is not the only one that shows these things. I encourage everyone, and I say this a lot in my channel, go look at different prepping channels, because you don't agree with one thing or two things in this channel doesn't mean that you should dismiss the channel. Because what you should do is you should take the good out of that channel and leave the bad behind. So, for example, if you don't agree with something that I'm doing, that's okay that you don't agree with it. But please take the good out of the message that I was trying to, give you. So don't just dismiss everything because you don't agree with one thing. Take the good out of it, and do that with all different kinds of channels. Because when you take all of those little bits and pieces, you'll be able to put your own puzzle together that makes sense. So yeah, go out there and educate yourselves. First and foremost, educate yourself. Don't just do things bluntly. If I tell you to go buy an oxygen absorber, just go buy it because I tell you. Find out what an oxygen absorber is. Find out how it works. Find out why it is that it preserves food. That way you can understand why it is what you're doing. If you understand what it is that you're doing, then you're going to be more successful in the long term than if you just blindly follow someone's suggestions / recommendations.
Right. Well, and your channel, one of the impressive things to me is if they will follow some of your recipes. I pulled up, it was 1 month ago. There's no cheaper way than this to store dried, and I can't see the rest of it, probably dried food. Yeah, dried foods for long term. And it was the Coke bottles. But right next to that is a 30-cent meal, prep lentils, very nutritious. You know, you show a meal for 30 cents, you know?
Yeah.
And for people that are on a limited income, you offer tons and tons of advice just to help people stretch their limited incomes.
Well, let me tell you what, too, WV. I'm not patting myself on the back or anything. But that 30-cent meal was very delicious.
Was it? Oh, yeah. Your recipes always look
very
good.
tasty.
Let me tell you. Yep, I've got a book with your recipes in it. Yes, I do. So,
I mean, and also for people that like pasta, I mean, I've got a video where it shows you where you can make a pasta dinner with meat and everything for like $6 that will feed a family of 4 2 full meals. Yes. I mean, where else can you get a full pasta, spaghetti and spaghetti sauce with meat in a meal that will feed your family 2 full meals for like $6? But the thing is that you have to cook it. You have to be able to have the mentality that if you don't cook, you have to be willing to learn to cook. So a lot of this about people starting to get into the prepping movement so that they can be more self-reliant is a mentality thing. They have to get out of their comfort zones. And if they don't know how to cook, they need to learn how to cook. And it's not difficult. It's just merely looking at a recipe and following the instructions. That's what cooking is. Baking is a little more of a science, but it's still very easy if you look at a recipe and follow the instructions.
Right. Absolutely. I was looking here. I am 3 videos behind on you. I've got to get caught up. I did. I wanted to point out, you know, he even shows you how to cook a pan of rice with 12 tea lights, and it came out perfect.
Yeah, I was very surprised at that. That actually came out. I was surprised at that, at how good that rice came out. I mean, it came out perfect. Yeah. And but yeah, you can. And actually, it was only 8 tea lights.
Oh, was it 8?
Used and yeah, and the nice thing about it is that those tea lights, and it was the cheap tea lights too. It wasn't the expensive ones. Those tea lights will burn for 4 hours each, and I got about 1 hour of burn time to cook that rice, which means that you can cook rice for the day using tea lights, and your tea lights will last you 4 to 5 days. And that's only using 8 like 5-cent tea lights. So I remember someone asking in the comments earlier that what would you do if you lost electricity and the ability to cook? I think I put in the comments, I replied that person that they can actually use tea lights to boil water. And yes, you definitely can, and it actually works. You know, it actually works, and that's what I mean about thinking outside the box. Try 5 things that you haven't tried before. All right, prepping is not rocket science by any means. It's just you willing to do something that you haven't done before to see if it'll work. And trust me, there's been plenty of things that I've tried that did not work, that were a complete fail. But I learned from doing those things I failed at. I learned what to do better next time so that I wouldn't fail. And some things I learned that I can't do it any better because it's just not going to work.
Right.
So even if you fail, you still learn. Failing is not a bad thing. Failing is how we get better. You know, I'm not trying to become a motivational speaker here, but, you know, I remember someone saying once that Michael Jordan, who was one of the best basketball players, you know, alive. I'm not really a sports guy, but I do remember who he is. They said that he missed more throws than he made. So he failed more, he succeeded, and he still ended up being one of the best basketball players of all time. So don't be afraid to fail. I mean, I was doing an experiment once where something literally blew up in my face. And I learned that what I was doing wasn't the right way.
Right.
But I learned.
Right. Right. Yeah. You know, I've got my journal with your recipes in it. And I mean, I've learned a lot from you. And, you know, like you said, you've had failures and you admit you've had failures. But my son and I have always tried to make prepping a hobby. And it was nothing new to me because this was a way of life for my grandparents. So, you know,
Absolutely.
I grew up seeing this prepping as a new word. This is way my grandparents, which I'm 59, this is way my grandparents lived every day and raised 5 children.
Yep. And what you say, what you just said makes 100% sense, and it's 100% true. And people need to realize this. You know, some of the videos that I've done in the past, some people have accused me of being like a fearmonger. And I was thinking to myself, and whenever that happens, I'll go back and I'll rewatch the video and say, what did I say that made this person feel that way? And I came to realize that what I think happened is that person got scared enough to where they saw that they were nowhere near prepared in case something would happen. And it scared them enough that they thought was fear-mongering. And it was just a way of them defending themselves from having to actually think about it. Right. So it's like a safety mechanism. So if they call me a fear-monger, then they don't have to worry about, you know, starting to prep. They don't have to worry about thinking, what did this happen? They can just continue to live their normalcy bias life, thinking that everything will always be all right. Now, I'm not one of those persons that wants anything to happen. Like I said, I would be just as happy if, you know, I was 95 years old and I was, you know, leaving this physical world and I had never had to use any of my prep. Nothing would make me happier than that. However, living in the world that we live in today and seeing the things that I see, I think that maybe, you know, it's a good idea to have some, you know, preps put aside just in case.
Exactly.
It can be a bad idea. And you have a great point that, you know, your grandparents used to be preppers, but they didn't even know it. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this the last time that we talked, but you're 100% correct. You know, 100 or 120 years ago. And I would be like people to listen to this, because if they listen to this and they don't start prepping, then it's because they're never going to start prepping. And 120 years ago or so, or you know, on the turn of the century, you know, in the early 1900s or so, the word prepping was never used because everyone was a prepper. So they didn't need to use a word to identify how to live their life because they did it. And during that time as well, 95 to 97% of the country, of the people in the United States of America, they were farmers. Today, only about 3% of the people in the United States of America are farmers. And another thing, back in that time, in the year 1900s, the people in that time, they were a lot hardier than we are today. When they went to work, they went to work. Today, when I go to work, I sit in a chair and I click a mouse. Then they work and work. handle hard times. Today, we have 3 times as many people to feed. We have about 30 times less farmers that feed us, that we rely on, and we're out of shape, myself included.
Right.
Okay. So given those circumstances, if you look at that scenario I just gave you, which is reality, doesn't it just make sense to put some things aside to make sure that if the system
Oops, you're breaking up on us a little bit.
It's been down for 6 months. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You broke up just a little bit there.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. So, like I said, God forbid if the system went down for a week, or or a month, or for 6 months. God forbid something like that happened. What are you going to do? If the system goes down for whatever reason, be it a coronal mass ejection from the sun, be it a financial catastrophe that could happen, be it really bad weather events that prevents our crops from being fully harvested, and us being able to have a carryover into next year that will be able to feed us. What if that happens throughout the world? Back in I think it was in the early 1800s or something. I'm not sure about the date, but they had what was called a year without a sun, and it was during what is called a grand solar minimum, where the sun was not radiating enough energy to reach the earth in a manner that was conducive to the growth of plants. So they had a year without a summer worldwide, and a lot of people starved during those times. If you go back to that time and you ask a person, would you have liked to have had a year's supply of food in your pantry? Would that have helped out? I guarantee you they would have said yes. And it's happening right now in other parts of the world, just not happening in the United States. But normalcy bias is thinking that something is not going to happen because it's never happened to you.
That's right.
So what I say to those people is, what you're saying is that if you've never had a broken bone, it's impossible for you to break your bone, which is absurd. But
right.
It's the same logic, only because it's never happened here in the United States, which has. It's just happened so long ago that we don't remember it because we weren't alive during that time, and it's really not being taught in the schools like it used to be. It's happened so long ago that it's not in our conscience. It's not in our psyche, so we don't really think about it, so we don't care about it. But that's the awakening process that has to occur before someone can seriously start looking at why it is that they need to prep. And, the last thing I'll say, because I don't want to take over your show, WB.
Oh, you're welcome to take over my show anytime.
Well, then one of the last things I'll say is not putting away sustenance for your family. Then ask yourself, do you really love your family? Do you love your family enough to sacrifice a few extra dollars to put away in food insurance to ensure that you never have to look your children or your wife in the eyes and say, I'm sorry, I don't know where I'm going to get food as they're hungry? As a father or a mother, your main duty is to be a protector of your family. And one of the best ways you can protect your family is to make sure that they have the sustenance that they need in order to live. So the next time that you go to the movies or go to McDonald's or you get that $5 latte at Starbucks, think, do I have enough put away to make sure that my family will be able to cope with any minor or major crises or life-changing event that may happen? Just ask yourself those questions, and it should be easy for you to answer yourself if you're honest with yourself. Absolutely, you should be putting something away.
That's right. For less than that Starbucks coffee cost, you can put away 12 cans of vegetables.
There you go. That's how you have to think about it.
Yes.
That's exactly how you have to think about it. And good things happen to good people. All right, like I always said, when good people do things, good things happen. You know, it's incredible how the power of being good blesses you. Because it seems to me that the more good you do towards others, the more things that happen to you. But you have to remember that when you do good things towards others, it's not because you're hoping that good things will happen to you in return. When you selflessly give yourself to others, good things happen to you. So people also have to remember, even people that are on budget, and usually these are the people that give the most, are the people that have to believe. Remember to be a giver without ever wanting anything in return. And then you start there. If you just start there, things are going to work out for you. I believe in the power of good. I believe in giving. I believe in taking care of our fellow man. And when I say men, I mean men or women, anyone. You know, I believe in being charitable. And I think it really starts there. You know, be a good person, be charitable, you know, with your fellow human beings, and things will work out. And just remember that no one is coming to save you. When the lights go out, no one is coming to save you. You are on your own. The government has been prepping for years, but not for you and not for me.
That's right.
So just make sure that you remember that.
Well, when you get ready to close out, you make sure you do your famous closeout. I love hearing it.
All right. Awesome. Well, let you go then, WB. Let me tell you what. We've only had 2 chats here, you know, on your channel, but I love coming on because it's so much fun talking to you. And you know that I like to talk, right?
Yeah, I love to listen to you talk. Yes, sir, buddy. You're welcome to talk here anytime.
WV, you know how many people have cussed me out on my channel because they say you talk too much?
Are you kidding me? Lord, I could listen to you talk all day.
I've had to block so many people because they cuss me out, you know, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't let me talking like this, you know, because I try to run a family-friendly channel, you know?
Yeah.
So I have to block them because they'll just come back and keep cussing. And I'm like, listen, man, I am who I am. I can't change. I'm too old to change.
They're trolls. Don't pay them any attention. We love you give nothing but quality information. They're just trolls. They're not going to listen anyway.
You know, the way I see it is I talk for whoever wants to listen. If you don't want to listen, you're welcome to listen if you want to. If you don't want to listen, then you really don't have to.
That's right.
But, hey, I really appreciate you inviting me up today. I had a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm so glad you were in chat. And when I saw you, I thought, oh, he's going to be able to help me out with this. I should have called you and told you what I was going to do, but it was last minute. I changed my lineup for tonight. So I was thrilled to have you say you were willing to call and help me with this. You're the expert as far as I'm concerned.
Let me go ahead and plug my channel real quick. And
I've had your channel up on my screen the whole time you've been talking.
No, I know I'm watching it, but what I mean by plugging it is I want to let you know I got a little bit of insider news for you. All right, so don't tell anyone.
Okay.
So, hey, listen. So for the Christmas season, and I think I decided on doing a video for like the 8th of December. I am having a huge giveaway. It's going to be I'm so excited about it because it is going to be awesome. I think I'm going to be giving away like 30 things.
Oh, yeah.
30 different people. So make sure you jot that down on your calendar and make sure that you watch that video. I'm gonna have that video open for 2 weeks so that people can enter to win one of the prizes. And like I said, it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. I actually have some community members email me, sending me things so I can, give away as prizes. So, and to tell you the truth, that's my favorite part of doing this Alaska Prepper channel, is doing giveaways and doing the donation runs. Because, man, I'll tell you what, when I do those donation runs to charities, it makes me feel like a superstar. And in reality, it's my community members that are actually contributing towards those donations. So it's going to be a great time. Thanksgiving, Christmas season is my favorite time of the year. So I'm going to do a really, really big thing for before Thanksgiving, but it's not going to be for the channel. It's going to be for a local charity out here. and I'm going to be having that. I'm going to putting out that video probably within the next week or two, and it's going to be probably the biggest charity that we've done since I started the Alaska Prepper channel.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited about doing it. And I'm not going to divulge what the charity is, but it's a really, really needy charity that really needs help this time of the year. So I'm really excited about doing that. And I'm even more excited about doing what we're going to do for Christmas. And some people have asked me, why do you do so many giveaways? Because do you want to buy subscribers? I'm like, no. I'm like, that's the last thing I'm trying to do it for. I do it because I like to encourage people to prep. And you just imagine if somebody just runs across your channel and you're doing a giveaway and they win and they've never prepped before, you might have just made someone start wanting to prep just because you're giving something away, because your community enables you to. You may just have someone start prepping because of that. So it's a great thing. We've had a lot of new preppers on our channel, and I think it's a wonderful thing when someone goes onto a channel that's never prepped before, and your community encourages them to prep and they start prepping. And that's why I love to giveaways that, but I also love to give back to the community, because when it comes down to it, no YouTube channel will be a YouTube channel unless they have a supportive community. They will eventually just go away. But if you have a supportive community that's there for you, and you guys treat each other well and respect each other like we do, and I'm sure with the community as well, you respect each other, treat each other well, you're going to grow and you're going to be able to benefit from each other. And I think I'm addicted to giving stuff away. My wife's always telling me, "You're doing another giveaway?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing a giveaway because it's fun."
Yeah, I've been a benefit of one of your giveaways.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
Well, make sure that you enter our next one. You might just have a chance to get something else.
Okay. Well, I think you're precious. Oh, and I put your Prepper News channel back up again. We got you over that 500. You have 566 now.
Yes, it did, and it's growing a little. And I feel so bad about that channel because I only put up like maybe one video a week on that channel. But whenever I put up a video, it's a video that I think it's important to put up. So yeah, I'm hoping that people are getting something out of that channel. Here, one day when I don't have to, punch a clock anymore, I'll probably devote more time to that channel than I do now.
Well, Marfugel said if we got you over 500 that night, and we did, if you called in, that he would get you over your 1,000. So you've got to call into Marfugel.
Well, he's doing his. Oh yeah, I saw you today at Marfugel's. I was actually at my lunchtime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember I was on. You guys were on Marfugel's today, and yep. I chimed in there for a couple of chats in the chat.
Yeah.
On the chat bars, and but it was during my lunchtime, and I had to sign off.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, someone's asking where's Victor, and Victor's working right now.
Oh, we love Victor. We do. We love Victor.
Well, all right, W, let me let you go so that you can get back to your people. And thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much to your community for being so supportive. Every time that I get on here, everything says hi and everything, and you guys are great. You guys just stick together, support each other. And like I said, when good people do good things happen. Oh, hey, Lemon, can I sign off?
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and then I'm probably going to start getting ready to go to bed here. So, like I said again, WDS, pleasure talking. I always love coming on your show.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for your hospitality. I had a great time. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember, reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world will be a better place, and know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. There's a Alaska Prepper, and I'm out. God bless you.
And blessings to you, sweetheart, and your family. We all love you. Thank you again. Bye-bye. Now, what a treat was that? I'm telling you what's the truth. I love me some Alaska Prepper. I wanted to leave his channel up so y'all could see it in case there was videos, which there were. But I'm telling you, y'all have got to look. He has got recipes that it is amazing. You know, what a meal you can cook for pennies on the dollar. So, you know, he's real life stuff. You know, if somebody's saying he talks too much or he's a fear monger or whatever, those have to be trolls. Those of us that live a real life and want to budget our money and our pennies, let me tell you what, the last prepper has it going on. I can't say enough good things about him. So what a treat was that. I'm telling you what's true. I didn't expect that when I had to change my lineup of what I was going to do tonight, but what a blessing. See, thought of somebody that wanted, you know, that little bit of nugget of knowledge, and I wanted to do something I was a little more familiar with, and then look, we got the pro that came on with us. So I hope everybody was happy about that. I'm telling you. So we maintained about a steady 60 for him, so that's good. I have to change my thumbnail and my title now, find the timestamp so everybody can find the Alaska Prepper. Yes, Alaska Prepper, we had a wonderful time listening to you. So, but I should have brought my journal in here, started to bring my journal in here tonight with my recipes. I've got several Alaska Prepper recipes. Now, he shows you how to make homemade bagels with that flour that you're going to prep, and several bagels, big bagels, and all kinds of recipes. Let me tell you, if we are in a hard time, those recipes are going to be real handy. They're real handy anytime. Make your budget stretch. You know, you may be okay right now. You may be prepping a little bit and you just want to save some money for a vacation, or you're saving money, you know, for Christmas. You know, you can live this way now and not worry about living on bread and butter. You know, he's cooking good meals for pennies on the dollar. So absolutely check out the Alaska Prepper. Love him to pieces. And my life has changed a little bit. I'm a mod on his channel. I've had to miss several now of his lives and couldn't even go over and mod for him as much as I appreciate him. And I hate that, but Sundays have been a little tied up. Haven't been able to be online when he comes on. It's noon Eastern Standard Time. So y'all remember that. Y'all want to see Alaska Prepper live. Typically when he's live, it's Eastern Standard Time, noon, 12 o'clock when he's live. But there's always tons of nuggets of information he gives you. And I don't think he talks a bit too much. But of course, I'm a chatty Cathy, so, you know, but I ramble. I just ramble and try to entertain y'all. When he talks, he gives you good information. So that was a real blessing. I was thrilled to death. Can you see? I was not in the best state of mind when I started my live tonight, and he always is a blessing to me. So put me in a better mood listening to all that. But his news channel is where he goes over, you know, he has got great insight to what could happen to this nation financially. And I would very much suggest that you go to Alaska Prepper News and listen to those videos that he puts up. Makes a lot of sense. History repeats itself. And he is so knowledgeable when it comes to that. So, well, hey, Magic Prepper, how are you? I bet you I've missed a lot. I know a Mountain Man. Old Mountain Man. I was supposed to send you somebody's phone number. They have a question for you. Is it all right, Mountain Man, if I send you somebody's number and you call and let them ask you a few questions before they purchase some of your products? Is that all right with you? Do you mind calling one of my mods and giving some advice on some of your products? I'm going to send you that contact and you give him a call. I hope you're still on there, Mountain Man, and heard what I said. I just sent you a phone number, potential customer, wanted to ask you some questions before he actually purchased the products to make sure he was getting the appropriate product. So if you will call him, he would appreciate it, and so would I. Well, does anybody have any questions? Was tonight helpful to you? Did that help you, want to, like Marfugal always says, we have car insurance, home insurance, health insurance, life insurance. I mean to tell you, since I haven't been working in February, I might have been in a bit of a pinch if I hadn't had my food put away and some canned food and then a little bit of budget that I do have. I go, to Aldi's, and every time I go, I pick up a flat of some kind of canned food or meat. It doesn't take a lot for it to add up and you to put it back. Yes, Mountain Man, and you're always welcome to say anything. I sent you the number of somebody that wanted you to call him. They're wanting to buy products and want you to give guidance on which one of your products is best for him to buy. So that number I just sent you, if you could call him and give him some advice on your products, I'd appreciate it, and so would he. And there's you another customer. And we love Mountain Man. Let me tell you, he was a rave on Monday. You just don't know how thankful I am for, of course, Mountain Man doesn't have a channel, but I have been so creator supported. And the reason that's important to me is because I'm not a huge wealth of knowledge in every topic in the world. Mental Health Monday, that's my thing. But this way it offers you, the viewers, so much more information. And that thrills me to death to be able to, yes, Kevin Fugel Fan Monday was awesome. And tonight's awesome for our beginner preppers. So, well, thank you, Miss Gloria White. I sure appreciate that. Or do we have somebody with that name? I should look. It might not be it, because I sure don't think my mind is beautiful. Let me tell you. If we have somebody beautiful mind, I don't recall that name. CJ, do you want to drop Mountain Man's link for him? I don't care for you to drop his link. I text that number to you, Mountain Man. You should have received that text. You've got his number and you can call him when it's convenient to you. That's the only text you should have received from me tonight. But yeah, y'all can put Mountain Man's link up. So, any questions? Oh, you're in a motel, Kevin Boogle fan? Thank you, Miss Lisa R. Hall. Oh, and Miss CJ Blaze. Y'all both got it. Daisy Taylor, how are you? Oh, and now CJC, I saw you came in late. That's okay. Got to get them babies to bed. Well, thank you, Magic Prepper. I sure do appreciate that. Now, when Mr. Marfugal's healthy, we probably won't be here at this time on a Wednesday night. We'll have to be a little earlier. But we'll be sharing the night with Marfugel, which we all love. Mountain Man, he is, let's see. He's available for the next several hours at night. You can get him through you're a nighttime person. He's a nighttime person. And I would say anytime tonight between now and 5 o'clock in the morning, he's probably available if you want to call him. One and a half, like someone showed. Daytime food makes you feel naughty. Did you feel? Adam was on through the day, and now I'm on his slot tonight. Usually I'm earlier, and we cut the show when he comes live on Wednesday. But I started a little later and going a little later because he was on earlier today. But typically I try to start at 9 on Wednesdays, and then we cut the stream when Marfugel comes live. Hey, Bobcat, how are you? I missed the date. I missed that date. It's in December. And I'm behind, like I said, 3 videos. I usually keep up on his videos. I always learn something. And I don't know if Alaska Prepper is still here. If he's still here, they're wanting to know that date of the giveaway in December. It's going to be up for 2 weeks. So you just watch his videos and you won't miss it. Yes, French Files, we're always late. Listen, I've always said I must have vampire or something in my blood. I've always been a nighttime person, not in the mornings. I'm telling you, I'd go to work in the morning, be at work 2 hours before that brain fog would finally lift. You had to sneak Marfugel while you worked today? Well, Alaska Prepper said he watched Marfugel on his lunch break. Well, thank you, Wide-Eyed Blind Mom. I sure appreciate it. Sure wasn't me. Alaska Prepper surprised us. Well, that was such a treat. Thrills me to death. Thrills me to death when any of them calls in. Sure does. Rip Curl, you can look on his website, and he's got an email, and if he didn't see it, he answers his emails, and he'll answer that question for you, if that helps you out any. Well, that's about all I had. I was just going to go over a few of those things. Now you're hungry. Listen, we're always hungry on my channel. Snack and bunch. And I was in a rush and coming here, didn't even bring a snack. And then while Alaska Prepper was on, I was afraid I'd missed something. So I couldn't go get a snack. Okay. Yep. Look on his channel. He's got his email, and he does answer his email questions. He sure does. And he's glad to answer any of them. He might have gone to make that phone call since that person was up. Well, thank you, Daisy Taylor. I sure appreciate that. I most certainly do. Yes, gratefulmountainrelief.com. That's it. I couldn't remember the grateful part. That's awful. December the 8th. That's Alaska Preppers. When he starts his giveaway, December the 8th. Okay. Thank you, Miss Gloria. I appreciate that. See how we work together? That's what a family's all about. And Fridge Files is working on a solar system. I've watched those videos. My goodness sakes alive, I'm telling you. I could watch them now till the cows come home. Wouldn't help me any. That's all that electrical stuff's above my head. That's why I was so impressed with that little kid, Anthony Electric. If y'all haven't checked out Anthony Electric, check out that little boy. Tell you what, 13 years old. He's an electronics genius. He sure is. Call you your lonely, love your heart. Let me tell you, I'm not calling anybody now. I'm tired. This has been a long day. Let's see, Ethan spent the night last night. I've had him all but 5 hours in the last 24. And he's a little active mess, let me tell you. Love my life, though. Yeah, you have to have bacon dyed the beans. Pinto beans, let me tell you how I make my pinto beans. I fill those babies with salt and put about 3 sticks of butter. I put 1 stick of butter in them when they start cooking. I put a stick of butter in them when they're halfway cooked, and then I put a stick of butter in them when I'm finishing them off. And I had a guy tell me that he had been to every pinto bean competition that could get to, and I forget how many states. Wanted to know how do I make my beans? Best beans he'd ever eaten in his life. Put them in a slow cooker. Let them cook all night the next day. Salt and butter. He could not believe it. But I'll tell you what my favorite is cranberry beans. Because when you finish them up in that slow cooker, they're thick like 2-day-old pinto beans, if y'all know what I mean, if you're pinto bean eaters. Oh, homemade baked beans? Yeah, my sister makes some good homemade baked beans. I don't do many of the baked beans because my sister always does it. Now she started putting kielbasa in her baked beans. Ooh, man, that's good. Yes, it is. Rice tacos with olive oil. That sounds good. I like any kind of taco. I don't like shrimp tacos. I don't think fish belongs in a taco. I don't eat no seafood tacos. That's just, I've never tried it. It just sounds nasty to me. And I've seen them, and I looked at them. It's like, nah, thank you. I don't think I want to try that. Yes, baked beans in a slow cooker, they're good too. Now, I use that brown sugar and honey in my baked beans when I make baked beans. Waverville Automotive just woke up. Hi there. Did you wake up high, or are you saying hi to me? Oh, you know I'm picking on you. I'm picking on you, Overbuilt. Yeah, y'all are making me hungry. Listen, I can't wait till Thanksgiving. Now my sister makes the baked beans. I don't know what we're doing Thanksgiving this year, if we're going to my brother's, or if I'm cooking, or what we're doing. But I do the homemade potato salad, macaroni salad, deviled eggs. Sometimes I do coleslaw, but then I do green beans, corn, mashed potatoes, stuffing, homemade gravy from the turkey, ham. I do sweet potatoes and sweet potato casserole. In my sweet potato casserole, I just put a lot of butter, stick of butter in that big fat can of sweet potatoes or yams, either one. And let me tell you, I like me some butter. That's why I got to get a can of me some butter. I'm not going to be a happy camper. You can call him now if you want to, Mountain Man. Okay, Mountain Man, are you still planning on coming on next Monday and giving us the rest of that research? In the original Boston baked bean pots, I used to have one of those pots and hadn't got to use it yet. Moved. That sucker got broke. I was aggravated. Let me see. Yes, I had cigarette tobacco. Those bags of tobacco and oxygen. Seal them, mill them, keep them fresh. Yep. Because any other way that tobacco would dry out. Yeah, I haven't started prepping that. Me and my nicotine self, let me tell you, I've got to get me some tobacco prep. All of us, the boys had to stop. with her snuff, and me and my sister have to stop with her nicotine and caffeine all at the same time. Well, I've got caffeine prepped. I won't have pop. By golly, I got plenty of coffee and tea. And let me tell you, I am not planning on doing without my, I'll do without my nicotine before I do without my caffeine. Might be a little grumpy. No, we won't have time to be grumpy. Let me tell you, we'll be tired having to cook on fires and stuff. If we lose the grid, let me tell you, life's going to change if things get bad. All right, White-Eye Blonde Mom, I'm getting ready to cut the stream. I was just chatting with y'all. Nicotine relieves pain, also relieves stress. Nicotine releases a neurotransmitter deep, deep, deep down in the center of the brain, and it does relieve stress. You're going to barter coffee beans? What are you going to barter? Nicotine for my coffee? My coffee and my tea? Oh, I'll barter with you. Yeah. Well, let me tell you. I said that. We said we'd be running to the pharmacies and to the tobacco stores. We'd have real good barter materials, let me tell you. I told my pharmacist, well, I used to go to an independent pharmacist, and I told her, I said, the shit hits the fan, you don't have to worry about who's going to come and rob you. You just go ahead and call your insurance company, because I'm coming. My son was real bad after he's wrecked then. And I said, by golly, I'm going to be in here taking everything he needs. But few hospital trips and hospital dispensing, you know, you can stock up on that a little bit. Enough to get by and, you know, get somebody out, you know. If it's an addictive substance, at least help them, you know, get off of them. But kratom's another thing I want to stock. Just because I want to prep that doesn't mean I'm telling you to. But anybody that I'm allergic to opiates, but you never know how many people you might be around that could be on opiates, and if you have kratom, you can keep them out of withdrawal. So I've heard. I don't know. I've never even bought it, but I've heard it's awesome. Heard it from people that I respect their opinions. Let's see. What is that you're saying? Ezra at EzraCares.com sells 1680 milligram for $70. Worked in 9 minutes on my dog under thunder anxiety. Oh, well, you know, whatever you use for animals is people medicine. So, Michelle Smith. Bye, honey. Good night. Well, listen, y'all. It has been awesome. I do believe I figured out how to play a little music for y'all if you want to stay in chat for a minute. But I'm done running my mouth. Not that y'all had to listen to me very long. Equine Prepper. Hi, honey. I don't know if I spoke to you. Let's see. Your lives, you talked about fairies in the garden or outside. You had a nickname for them. Oh, it was the flying squirrels. They were called. My son tell me the flying squirrels were called something fairies. Does anybody remember? Gosh, that was a couple of months ago. My memory's not that good. Doggone. It was flying squirrels anyway. Equine Prepper. Let me look it up. See if I can find it. Okay. Yes to next Monday. As of right now, Mountain Man is planning on being here next Monday. We're down to 47. I should have looked at that and seen it sooner while we still had more people in here. Let me see. Oh, getting ready to text somebody instead of look up flying squirrels. What was those? Something fairies. once later called my son, he could tell me. Let me see. Did anybody put it in there what they were called? I cannot remember. Fairy diddle. I didn't see it. It just popped in my mind. Fairy diddle. It's a fairy diddle. It's a flying squirrel. Finally hit, man. It's fairy something. I was trying to put something fairy, and it finally hit me. Fairy. Fairy was the first word. Fairy diddle. That's a flying squirrel. Fairy diddle. That's it. Look it up, and it'll tell you it's a flying squirrel. Never heard of a fairy diddle in my life. But seen that little bitty thing, called my son. Never seen anything but the cutest little thing. They're smaller than a squirrel. They're almost just a little bigger than a chipmunk. Cutest thing. Running all over that net, trying to get away from me. Of course, didn't have my phone in my hand to video it. Never had my phone in my hand when I need it. But it was on the trampoline. I was outside digging. And I called my son. I said, what in the world could that be? It was too skinny and little bitty squirrel, but it was bigger than a chipmunk. Cutest little thing. He saw his fairy diddle. I said, is that a real thing? So of course, I Googled it. Flying squirrel, fairy diddle. Isn't that cute? Sounds cuter than flying squirrel. Well, hi there, Missy Wheeler. How are you, honey? My goodness, you missed the Alaskan Prepper. He stopped in to say hello and talked a little while to us for beginning preppers. Nice to see you. Sandra Sanchez. Oh, you have fairy diddles where you live? I've never seen one in my life. I'm telling you, I couldn't believe it. 59 years old, never seen one. Never heard of one, much less seen one. Okay, let me see if I can get this music going for y'all and let y'all chat a little while. I'll leave chat open just a little bit, but I'm going to say my goodbyes. So always remember, never be scared. Just be prepared. Always try to pray before you post. Share the love. That's the love of God, and the truth will come. And never, ever, ever forget how very much I love each and every one of you. So, till Friday night, I will see you then. Let me see what I got to do. Full screen, screen share. Walk y'all through my little step here. See if I can pull this up. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I didn't hit that blasted little block right here. Here we go. Now, see if that helps y'all.